Hi and welcome to this video. It's really lovely for you to have joined us again. I am really pleased. I am joined by a good friend of mine, Mario Sanchez, and he's in Mexico. He's a digital entrepreneur and he helps a lot of businesses to get really savvy with getting their online presence. And if you don't know me and you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Debbie Clement-Large. I'm an international creative life coach. I'm a Heal Your Life teacher and I'm a certified assertiveness coach. And I love just creating these conversations with so many wonderful people and just helping everybody to live the story that they wish to tell. And in this one, we're going to be having a look at how you can overcome your fear of public speaking. And this is such a massive area. And I did a talk the other day about public speaking. And I know so many people find this difficult. And how about you, Lewis? How do you find, if you have what do you like with public speaking?
Hey, hello. Well, first of all, I would like to say hello to your audience. And thank you for inviting me to this conversation.
My
and
pleasure.
Yes, fear of public speaking is something that that used to haunt me for the past maybe 20 years of my life. So yes, it's something that many people have, and many people don't know how to overcome that fear because it feels so natural. And I think it's something that we all can that we can develop that fear, but that we can also overcome, and it could help you in your business, in your relationships, into how you relate with other people, basically.
No, absolutely. And I know I know I've done lots of things in my life. You know, I've done acting. I've been on stage in front of, 1,300 people or whatever. But there's been periods of my life, like when I lost my dad when I was a teenager, and I lost my confidence, my self-esteem was really low. And the thought of standing up in front of people would have terrified me. It would have, I would never have dreamt that I would have been able to get up on stage in front of a lot of people. That's for sure. So it's something, like you say, it's definitely something that you can learn. You can talk yourself or think your way into being okay, that we're not going to be judged, or that people aren't going to. I think the biggest thing is people will laugh, that people think you're really daft, or, you haven't got anything of value to say. And actually people, generally, when you're in the audience, you don't feel like that about listening to someone at all, do you?
Yeah, that's the thing, that I believe that we all have something great that we can share with the world. And I think it's such a bad thing that we can not say it or speak out, or simply do it because we have fear that to just to say it, because we have fear to speak in front of people. And me as well, I had also, I don't know what was it, but it was probably something when I was a teenager, that I started developing this fear to speaking in public. Like I didn't want to speak in front of my class, for example, or even to participate in a conversation. Even if we were only 5 people, 4 people, or 3 people, I felt a lot of pressure if there were eyes looking at me. So yeah, that also affects you in your relationships with your friends or family, or wherever you meet. But I think that is why it is important that we know how to communicate with other people, because that's it. It's just to learn how to communicate in front of large groups of people. Yeah.
And you're right, it doesn't matter how many people you're talking to. And I know from lots of people that I speak to, it might be speaking to a group of peers, like say getting up in front of college or university, or even schoolmates, to standing up and trying to do a marketing talk, or giving a talk on something to some sort of institute, or, you know, some sort of hobby or something like that, where you're trying to share something that's, you've got an amazing skill to share with somebody else, but actually it feels really terrifying sharing that with other people. So it doesn't really matter what the platform is, but there's some great tools to sort of help overcome that sort of feeling of being judged or criticized, or what are other people going to think of me, and all those sorts of things that we feel when we're getting up in front of other people. And there's some things that I've learned over time: breathing techniques, definitely meditation is good. Visualizing the fact that you're going to stand there and you're going to feel wonderful when you stand there, that other people are going to really appreciate what you've done. And if you can do that, it's a really powerful technique to help you. How about you though? I mean, have you anything that, you know, any tips you've got?
Well, I think that what has helped me the most is to practice it.
Yeah.
And I have done that by talking to other people. But by far the most important thing that has helped me is to join groups where you can speak up and do some kind of public speaking or a project. There's one international group that is called Toastmasters. And there I have learned a lot. Even though it's more like a formal type of public speaking, it helps you, or it has helped me at least to develop these skills that I didn't have to overcome, first of all, the fear of speaking in front of people. Then it has helped me to organize the ideas in my head so that I can speak them better in front of a public. And yeah, just going out and do some public speaking in front of people. I think those type of groups, if they're available in your country, for example, Toastmasters is available, I think it is worldwide. And in most of the cities of the world, you can find that. But you can also hire maybe a coach who can help you with public speaking and do the techniques that you also mentioned. If I can give some tips to other people, that would be to do breathing exercises, to be present in the moment, and to reduce stress as much as you can. Because, for example, I've done several speeches in the past year, and I have found that the best ones are the ones where I'm calm, where I prepared my presentation, and also where I don't have any other things that I have to worry about. For example, if I slept well the night before, if I had something to eat, that I don't show up with an empty belly to the stage, that helps a lot. And yeah, just to be present and to know that what you're going to say is going to be something that is going to be important and that you can teach to other people.
Yeah. And I think Toastmasters is really good because it's actually quite a safe environment. People are there that are really wanting you to do well. And I've no doubt whenever you do a talk, people are there, but it feels a safe environment to maybe mess it up, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's such a friendly environment, as you say. And it's kind of a support group because people are so positive. Doesn't matter if you are in a beginner level or if you're an advanced guy, you can learn from everyone. So yeah, when I entered the Toastmasters, I was terrified to speak in public, and that has lowered in the sense that I can now speak in public and not be frightened by the fact that I'm going to speak in public. I may be nervous, but that's different, being nervous and being frightened. Yeah. And that definitely helps to have a supportive group and to just do it.
And you're right, the fear is what almost like freezes you. You know,
Yeah.
being anxious is okay, and a little bit of stress is probably quite good because it gets you to be your best.
Yeah.
Whereas when you get wrapped up and sort of frozen by fear, and you can feel the shakes and your tremors in your voice, and you can't look around at people, and that's just awful. It's like being a rabbit in headlights.
I used to shake a lot, like my legs used to shake and my hands. You
Yeah.
can see like my hands were like this when I speak in public, when I used to speak in public. And
Mm,
my voice used to tremble too. So
mm,
yeah, that's gone. And you can use, when you know how to transform that energy, that nervousness,
mm,
into positive energy, that can be something that you can use in your favor
mm.
while public speaking. Yeah.
And I can even remember feeling like that when I first started work. And
Okay.
you know, you might sit in a meeting around a table, and would get to me, and I'd have to say something about something that was going on, and I could feel my legs or my hands go,
Yeah.
um, and I'd be breathing from right up here, and I'd run out of breath partway through a sentence.
Yeah.
And actually, I had to learn to, you know, the importance of belly breathing, and actually
Yeah.
taking a
That's right.
nice breath, and actually not feeling like you have to rush. And for me, acting and starting out doing small shows and theatres and things actually really helped, because you know, it's that practice, it's that support of other people around you. You know, people are coming because they want a good show. They're not here to judge or criticize in a way. So in a different sort of way from Toastmasters, it felt like a support thing to get up on stage and be a character, because you weren't yourself, which is another thing which was quite good. But you're right. You said about practicing what you're going to say if you're talking to other people is kind of important. You know, to feel like you might carry some notes if you want to, but actually you don't need to be standing there reading them. You can have a flow. You know your subject. You know what you're going to say, and you feel comfortable with what you're going to say. I would say that's always a thing to start off with, is something that you feel comfortable with talking about.
Yeah, that's something that we should all start with, practicing what we are going to say. You don't have to improvise from the beginning. You can practice, and it helps even if you are an advanced speaker. I've seen that the best speakers practice what they're going to say. And if you later on, you can practice the improvisation. In Toastmasters, you practice both things. You practice prepared
Mm.
speech, or you can also do improvisations. Yeah, both things work, because at the end of the day, yes, we do speeches, or we do public speaking from time to time,
Mm.
but we interact with people every day,
Mm.
and that's something that uh, you can get help with,
Mm.
to speak to other people. Yeah. To me, it has helped me also to learn new languages.
Mm.
My main language is Spanish, as well, you may know.
Mm.
But I also, yeah, I speak a little bit of English, as you can see.
It's very
I
good. Much better than my Spanish.
I learned German and French. And you know, this funny thing that I didn't realize, but I knew the languages before, like from time before, right? I knew how the words were. I knew how to read it, but I struggled to speak the languages. And at first I thought, oh, it's because I don't know the language, because I haven't practiced it or whatever, right? But then I found that it was not only the language, it was the communication barrier, because I started to see that I couldn't even communicate well in my own language, in Spanish. I wanted to say something, and I struggle with it, because you have these barriers. And it's not only because I couldn't speak in public with 100, 1,000 people. It was even speaking with 2 or 3 people. If you don't know how to communicate, that can get you in trouble, and I'm in trouble when you want to communicate something. Then after I started to practice and to improve in my public speaking skills, I started to notice that I could speak better English, speak better French, speak better German, and it had nothing to do with the language knowledge. It had more to do with the way that you can develop the ideas in your head and to articulate them into sentences. Because communication is not only to spit out words out of your mouth. You have to develop that ability and that skill so that to order the ideas in your head and to make a good sentence so that you can say it. Yeah.
That's a really good point, actually. Yeah, no, that's really important. I was hoping that maybe we could end with, we talked about a couple of techniques. We talked about breathing. And I just thought it might be nice to share a breathing technique.
Okay.
And I don't know whether you've got any, but there's one that I know of that's quite nice. It's really to get that belly breath going. So you can, if you count it, you can do it with your eyes open. You don't need to close your eyes or anything, but you can breathe into the count of 3. Really, and then hold that breath in for the count of 3, and then release it for the count of 3, and hold it out. And actually, it slows your breathing. It actually gets you to breathe more deeply, which means that we actually have when we have better breath control over the way we talk. We're not rushing or losing our breath halfway through a sentence, and it slows us down. And it's taking our awareness. And if we can follow our awareness with our breath as well, rather than it being all on the things that are going on in our heads, that's actually quite nice for slowing our thoughts down and getting us prepared.
Okay. This is some type of meditation, or
you can use it as a meditation, but you can. I actually teach this to people that are in meetings that are feeling, or at a certain place where they're feeling a bit stressed. So you can have your eyes open, but you're just actually concentrating on your breathing and following that breath with your awareness. But, I could do it now and wouldn't necessarily know I was doing it. So it's really nice. And the other thing that is actually quite good is, I don't know whether you've ever come across power postures. No. And there's some scientific evidence to say that if you stand in certain postures just before you go on to talk in front of other people, so this would be a planned talk, then it actually changes your chemistry in your body and helps you feel more confident. So one of the postures, and I don't know whether in Mexico you ever saw anything. We have a character called Wonder Woman here.
Yeah.
Do you remember Wonder Woman?
Yep, we had it.
Yeah, and she used to stand with her feet hip width apart and then have her hands on her hips. And and if you take that sort of posture and hold it for like a couple of minutes, close your eyes, so you want to be in a quiet space. And I've even got people to do this in the toilets before they go on to talk, and just hold that posture for 2 minutes. And actually you feel it really changes your brain chemistry and how you feel. And it saves you go out with much more powerful, assertive posture than you would if you were sort of drawing energy in towards you and, feeling a bit shy. It actually changes the way you feel, which is really good.
Great. I'm going to try that. My next speech. And also, well, not before speaking, but also while you're on stage, you can, if you adopt a posture where you feel confident with both feet planted on the ground and just being straight, confident, that helps as well. Just being aware that you are standing and that you have a good position, that helps as well. And because it also changes the way people see you. They see that you are more confident, and that also affects all the environment where you are developing your speech.
That's a really good idea, actually. And the one last thing I would add is that when you come off that stage, having delivered it so wonderfully in that powerful posture, like you said, is that you don't beat yourself up afterwards. You don't come away and say, I didn't do that, or I didn't say that, and you start berating yourself and being critical of your talk, you come away and you say to yourself purposely, actually, I did really well. I'm really proud of myself for what I've done. And I know, I did a great job. I remembered stuff that I wanted to remember. And then you can say a little bit later on, actually, I did really well then, but I know I can make it even better the next time. Next time I can improve it even more. So nothing you say is critical or judgmental. You just be gentle and kind to yourself. You don't come off and give yourself a hard time because it maybe didn't go quite right.
Yeah, that's right, because the most important thing is that you did it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And the more you do it, the better you feel with it.
Exactly, yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure having this conversation with you, and knowing how you've overcome public speaking, and kind of I did the same as well. And actually, all power to you and doing that, and showing how wonderful you can be in helping other people to really express themselves and communicate better as well when they see you doing it.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me, Debbie. It's been a pleasure for me being here with you and sharing this with your audience as well.
Thank you so much, and everybody watching, thank you so much for watching. And it's been a pleasure to have you here, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care then.
Bye.